ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a tactical, let's say not lesson, but tactical video. I have tried to be able to loft with bombs on the Su-25T, and that is not gonna do. I cannot throw the bomb or loft the bomb far enough. I'm always much too close to the airfield or to the target for me to be able to loft. So I'm reverting back to my trusty S-13 rockets. The S-13 rockets are a very nice weapon, lots of destructive power. You can carry a lot of them, and they are actually very precise. So the S8 is too small, and I think that the S-24 are too big for these kind of maneuvers. I have tried some stuff, and I have found a way that works for me. Let's take a look at the target. The target is Cobaleti. Its runway runs 07 and of course 25, and I'm coming in from the sea. I'm heading 07. There's two ways to do this, or of course many other ways, but I was mixing between two different ways. One is to fly towards the airport at 07, so directly on the center line of the airfield, with my steer point marker roughly at the center of the runway. It doesn't matter where your steer point marker is, just in the airfield area. That is one way, directly on the center line. Another way is 20 degrees off, so let's say a 09, and I will be throwing my rockets like this. That is the two ways. Why? Well, the advantages of flying straight on the center line is that if one of the rockets impacts, almost all of them should impact on the runway. Therefore, much more munition in the target. The problem with that is that if I'm off just a slight, all the rocket can land on the grass here, or wherever they may land. Therefore, you have the 20 degrees off center line. And why 20 degrees? I cannot tell you why it is exactly 20 degrees, but I read a book about the British during the 1981 Falklands campaign, and for some reason I always remembered that when they attacked the airfield, the only proper airfield, Port Stanley they bombed using radar because the weather was so atrocious, and I cannot remember if it was the Vulcan or Valiant bomber. I believe it is the Vulcan bomber, and the Victor was doing the air refueling. They said that if you bomb at 20 degrees, there's a much higher chance of you hitting the runway, and when you hit the runway, the relative shallow angle does that a lot of bombs is actually hitting the runway. But again, it is most likely only at a short piece of runway that the bombs are landing, but you're almost guaranteed to always hit the runway with at least one bomb. The tighter the spacing of the bomb, the more bombs will land on the runway. But with rockets works in different ways. Rockets are not bombs. Therefore, I found out that if I focused on my flying and I fly directly 07, directly runway heading, then the majority of my rockets will be hitting the runway. And don't forget that if your rocket is only hit from the center or backwards, the enemy only have this little piece of runway to take off in. And try to take off in this little piece that is 1.1 kilometer with a fully loaded aircraft. That is close to impossible. So this may be more than enough. So I made a mission where I start out over here, over the water, several kilometers away. I have S-13 rockets loaded, and I'm gonna fly in, loft my rockets, and then dive away. And as far as I can see, I will be at least 7 kilometers away from the airport, and the airport is protected by Hawk battery, a Gepard at each end, a Stinger here, 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 and here. So if I get near the airport, I'm done. Or the chances are that I'm done is really high. So this airport is well defended. Therefore I need to loft my rockets. So I found out that the procedure for this is I will slew my squall down to the airport or the runway in the first 1/3. Why the first 1/3? It is because I have found that the majority of my rockets go long instead of short. So I predict, I have found out that if you aim in the first 1/3 of the runway, many of the rocket will land inside. And we have 8 ports here with 5 rocket in each, and that is 40 S-13. 40 122 millimeter rockets. That is practically, that is almost 2 Starlinogle. What can I? Katyushas. Yes. So I have found the runway here, and as you can see, I'm practically aligned with the runway now. You can cheat and use the ILS approach to line you up for the runway. So as you can see down here, I'm on the ILS beam. I'm using that to make sure that I'm lined up on the runway. Now that I have my squall, the ground stabilized at the 1/3, first 1/3 of the runway, I will descend to 20-50 meters above the ground, throttle up as much as I can until compressibility happens, and that is when the aircraft starts shaking. When the aircraft starts shaking, I will slow down just a little bit to avoid the shaking. When I'm 10 kilometers from the runway or from the target, and I'm using the HSI to this number here, when that number is on 10, I will slowly climb up to have my aiming pipper onto the squall pipper. When my aiming pipper is exactly on the squall pipper, I will press and hold to fire all the rockets and immediately break off, and let's say to the right. When I'm here, I have DIRCM and ECM on, and when I start my climb, I turn on my countermeasures continuous deploy. That way I have the highest chance of evading all the missiles. So let's go for it. Airfield is on the squall, descending, releasing pressure on the rudder. That is very important, so you are sure that you are firing straight along your flight path or your flight path marker. And I'm just trying to get as low as possible. 22 kilometers away. Then I'm just gonna hold her around here. Bit too much speed. Ease on the throttle. Bit more speed. 750 is apparently the sweet spot around here. 16 kilometers. And I ignore my squall right now. I'm just looking at the HUD and at the distance marker. I'm not using my squall. Throttle up a bit. 11 kilometers. 10 kilometers. Start deploying. Climbing up. Aligning pippers. Press and hold. View up to the right.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
And let's see. See up there in the top corner? They look pretty good. I do not know if I can. Oh yeah. There's a Gepard and Vulcans over here also. But I want to go into. Can I move my camera? Do I have a free camera? No. So let's see if we can go into check view. Check view. There. Start. And load. Take a look at my distance to the target. 6.5 kilometers, and a lot of stuff got hit there on the ground. How precise is that? I do not know. Oof. Let's take a look. See, that is not bad. I aimed here, roughly around here, and the rockets impacted from around that point and further up. So I covered 50% of the runway, and I hit some of the radars, and many of the rockets impacted on the runway. And as you can see, I was not perfectly aligned. I was a bit off, but that didn't do anything because my rockets have a spread, so that kinda evened out. So that is how I would recommend you to attack a runway that is heavily defended by long range, medium range and short range air defenses, because I cannot for the life of me loft bombs long enough. I can simply not throw them that far. I have tried many times, but S13s, it is good balance between bang for your buck and amount and range. So thank you.